there in YouTube land.
Welcome back.
We thought it'd been a while, so we'd do a bit of a get ready with me and chat with you all. So, hopefully, you're doing well.
Hopefully you're still, hanging in there and dealing with all the stuff we have to deal with. And now 2021.
Yeah. I'm kind of filled with trepidation.
I am too. I'm not sure exactly how it's all going to roll. But I am a little bit hopeful, though. I mean, we do have some working vaccines now, so...
And that's positive. That's a huge positive.
Maybe we'll start getting life back to pre-COVID.
That would be very nice. I miss concerts.
I miss seeing movies. I miss going to the movies. Yeah, you can watch whatever you want at home.
But there's something about the tradition of going to the theater and getting your popcorn and seeing everything on the big screen.
Because their sound systems are better than ours.
That's true. Though sometimes they have it so loud you feel like your eardrums are going to bust. But that's a whole issue.
I think it was... Which episode of Star Wars was it? I think it was actually Rogue One. They had it so loud in the theaters, I could not hear. It's like my ears actually were ringing after a couple of scenes, and I was kind of sitting there like, well, maybe I should have brought some earplugs.
I know that when I went to see the remake of Evil Dead in the theater, it was so loud that the action scenes hurt my ears. They literally hurt my ears, which is crazy.
Now, granted, I have, some really good hearing, but it's bad when your ears ring in a movie theater.
It is. And, I understand they're trying to make it loud enough so that everyone kind of gets the same experience, but I think they're going too far.
Yeah. But, in truth, I do miss the entire kind of atmosphere of going to a movie.
I do too. Plus, it's one of the few things to do where we live. There's not a lot to do in our state. Unless you like sports, which Tabby and I are not big sports people unless it's something like MMA. So, we're kind of SOL.
I'm a big outdoors person. I hike still and things like that. But it's winter and it makes it a little bit more hairy trying to get to some nice hiking areas.
Yeah.
As I found out not long ago.
Well, at least you got to go.
I went and most of the road was clear.
Most is good.
Most was sufficient enough to let me
get
down there,
to do.
Have a good hike, and then more or less scoot the entire way back.
You got to take your adorable dog with you.
Yes, I took my eldest dog.
Finn. He's really cool.
Finn's a Scottish Deerhound. And he is a little over 5 now. He's about 5.5, which is kind of middle age for them.
I still remember when I first got to meet him, how he essentially gave me a bath.
He's a very sweet dog, and had COVID not really rolled around as bad as it did, we were working on his therapy license.
He would be really good at that.
Where we could go visit in elderly homes or, wards in the hospital.
Yeah.
Dogs to come in.
He'd be very good at that. He has such a kind temperament.
But yeah, he got to go hiking.
That's cool. I bet he liked that.
I think more or less he liked the fact that he had a plain cheeseburger waiting in the car for him. I could be mistaken in that.
Oh, that's funny. What's the goofiest thing he's ever done?
Well, the goofiest thing he's ever done, so we went to actually get his, I call him his pack mate, Calder, and he is a little bit younger than Finn, but deerhounds can be a little bit dramatic, and they don't necessarily approve of company right away. So we got Calder and we loaded him in the back of our SUV. Finn went and sat in the driver's seat. I had to pull him out of the driver's seat and force him to stay back with Calder, who, mind you, was stressed. But then Finn rode standing the entire 3-hour trip back from where we bought Calder. And not only did he stand, he stood with his face right here. Looking at me like, Mom, what the hell did you do? I did not approve of this. I did not vet this dog.
It was not his idea.
Wasn't his idea. He didn't want a roommate.
Oh boy.
And now you can't separate them.
Well, that's cool. They're partners in crime.
And then they got mad again because I brought home Artemis.
Yeah.
And again, I had now 2 dogs looking at me with, Mom, what did you do? And she was, the stinky puppy for a while, but now she's okay because she's a she.
Uh-huh. Just sadly for them, there are no breeding plans, so thus...
No.
They have unrequited love.
Except for Finn now.
Yeah.
No, we recently just retired him from showing. And
Did he enjoy showing?
Finn actually did. Calder, who still shows, we have to work. It's go to work time, not show time.
That makes sense.
So we have to take, really high-end treats for Calder.
That's pretty fun. So he would be like the equivalent of a Lestat.
Uh-huh. The fun thing with Calder, though, is Calder's half Australian.
Oh, that's cool.
His dad came from, I want to say New South Wales.
Oh, wow.
So that includes, like, Sydney and every,
That's
It's not,
long way
New
away.
South Wales is a state, but it's not just a place. But he went to Australia. He was born in America. And his dad, Neville, went to Australia for a while. And then Calder is a product of science.
Aha.
So I always joke he's half Aussie, half Virginian.
That's funny. Now, if Calder's half Australian, half Virginian, what's Finn?
Finn is Ohio and... Where did Finn's dad come from? I think he's just purely Ohio.
Okay.
Because he came from the Cincinnati area.
Gotcha, okay.
And Artemis is Virginian and Pennsylvanian.
Cool.
Now, the bad thing is, both boys, and this is, a typical dog thing, they kowtow to her.
Well?
She literally digs a bed pad or a blanket out from under them and they let her do it.
That's funny.
But then they also look at me like, Mom, what are you going to do about this? Yeah, she took my bed. Well, you let her have it.
Yeah? That's kind of their fault.
So I will say, I don't always put on makeup anymore. Not since this this whole thing started?
I do it kind of once in a while. Basically, when I'm like, I've seen something online that I want to try and figure out if I can do it. But I certainly don't do it as often as I did prior to everything.
So what books have you been reading lately?
I'm still working on a horror book that came out last year called, I think it's The Only Good Indian. It's sort of about a Wendigo, but I haven't gotten too far into it yet. I ended up getting hired to work on author's series that is about this family of ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just finished beta reading that. And then I'm also working on a book that has honestly kind of a Witcher vibe to it.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it's very old-fashioned and magic and fantasy and stuff, and it's fun to work on books like that and help another author get their entire vision out on paper, if that makes any sense. So I've been enjoying doing that. That's been most of my reading. Has been doing stuff for other authors. Which I actually do need to get back to working on my own stuff, but all in due time.
It gets a little difficult sometimes when your routine is the same.
Yes.
Mainly because it has to be the same right now.
Yeah, it's not like, we have a real choice in mixing things up, so...
Frankly, we would prefer not to be doing some of the stuff we are doing right now.
I think that's everyone. I mean, the biggest thing, I think, is that, I know everyone is going to be glad when, like, for instance, masks are no longer needed because they're just uncomfortable.
They are uncomfortable, and, it is uncomfortable when you do have respiratory issues.
Yes. It's like, I know my dad, who was in the coal mines for many years, he has black lung, and, the cloth masks and the paper masks, like, produce a certain amount of fibers.
Mm-hmm.
And, when he breathes those, just for the length of time to wear a mask, he almost gets croupy in his lungs like he's getting pneumonia.
I've heard that, that's kind of a thing.
So hopefully, since, the vaccines are around, and as more and more people are able to get them, we no longer have to worry about that too much. That's my goal anyway.
And for anybody who checked in with us, what was it, a few days ago, Dani and I are fine. We're all good here.
Yeah.
But thank you for asking. It's always appreciated.
Yes, it is, because, when it comes down to it to a certain extent, the world is a very small place, and...
Take care of each other.
Yes.
Especially now.
Yeah, I mean, like England's on another complete lockdown and stuff, and I have a lot of friends that live in England who are having understandable, like, depression problems and things. Because it is hard to be locked in and not able to do anything.
It is. It's very hard. So always remember, take care of yourself, check on other people. And even though you're home alone, we're all in this still together.
Yes.
Almost a year in.
What I think is interesting is, according to, like, the publishing industry, is that we're now starting to see books and stuff that feature everything that's going on as a part of the story.
Yeah.
And not even, like a central part, like just like kind of like an in passing, like, as simple as trying to find a mask to wear with an outfit and things like that. So it's just kind of an interesting development related to everything else.
It is interesting, and I've noticed that too on some of the TV shows coming out lately. You're starting to see like the masks and stuff like that, and it is. It's a part of what we are right now. It won't always be. Yeah, I still fully think we will get to a point where we look back and say, "Hey, remember when?"
Yeah. Which, in general, that's bound to happen. Because kind of everything passes with time.
It does. This too shall pass.
And we have a lot of things that will be fun to look forward to, so.
And we have a lot of movies that are, in the wings and ready to come out, and I can bet, as soon as we get kind of more open, start getting more vaccines and stuff out there and things resume normal activity, you will see those movies.
Yeah, because, well, the filmmakers themselves want everything out. Because that was the whole purpose of making the film, was so people could see it, so it'll happen. In general, the fact that we're kind of introverted people anyway, I think that's helped somewhat. Because we tend to not have a very, large group to run around with a lot of things like that. So I think that's helped us. I've really felt for my cousin, though, because his son is fighting a type of kidney cancer. And so he's going through all of treatment and everything right now, and so they're under a lot of stress, understandably so.
Oh, understandably with that, and,
And I try to do things to make Quentin laugh and things like that. And that helps, I think.
I think that, if you find a way that you can just help, you don't have to necessarily be there to help.
Yeah, because, they'll pull up, Skype and things like that, and we just chat, and it's fun, and you can talk to him and stuff, and they can even angle things so you can watch, cartoons and things with him, so. Most everyone on the channel's probably heard me talk about my cousin before, because he's, a huge movie nut too, and he named his son after Quentin Tarantino.
And oddly enough, Quentin also really likes a lot of horror movies already.
Yeah, he when he was really, really tiny, when he was maybe 8 months old, I had him sitting on the sofa with me, and we were watching an old Hammer-produced horror anthology movie that had Peter Cushing in it. And he smiled when he saw Peter Cushing on screen, and so I was explaining, this man kills bad guys and all this stuff. It was fun. And now Quentin is really enjoying like all the superhero stuff and things.
Oh, yeah.
Which is fun too, because of course I have to like say, oh, you should like Batman because there's bats. I'm doing my best to influence him. And it's working, that's the best part.
That is the fun part.
Yeah, he likes bats.
It's also good, too, because it introduces... You know, a lot of people are cautious around bats and cautious around things. Kids need to not be afraid of them.
Yeah, I mean, they're amazing pollinators. They provide a lot of really good support for our ecosystem.
You ever forget to do something on one eye that you did on the other?
Yeah. The other thing I find difficult is to get everything even. To try and get it to match.
Always hold with another YouTuber's thought process. They're sisters, not twins.
Yes. And that's what I view about eyebrows in specifics, because it's very hard to get them exactly alike.
And if somebody is literally looking at you that close, whack them.
Yeah, because... Come on now.
That means they're all up in your business and don't need to be there.
Exactly. But I do have kind of a little bit of funny regarding makeup. My dad, whom many of you have heard me talk about before, has started paying attention to women's eyebrows, like on the evening news and stuff.
Yes, he has.
And he comes out and says, oh my god, Dani, you need to help her with her eyebrows. So it's really hilarious. He's become focused on eyebrows.
Oh.
Of course he does that. Remember the nostrils thing?
Yes.
My dad once told Tabby to pay attention to people's nostrils.
And it really made me stop and I was like, what? But now it's a bit of a running joke.
Because he went into graphic detail, like some are circular shaped, some are oval. It was very... Oh my gosh.
Now the question always of the day, what lipstick to wear?
That's always an entertaining decision.
It's always entertaining because you kind of sit here and if you're like me, you look at a lot of different shades. And
Oh yeah. As always, the most entertaining part is getting the lipstick to dry.
Uh-huh. Oh, do you have a correction
Thingy-mabobber.
thingy-mabobber?
Oh, goodness.
And then there's the time when you dab your lipstick in the wrong bloody spot.
I think we've all been there.
You know what? Neutrogena fixes everything.
Yes. Well, we hope you enjoyed this Get Ready With Us. And until next time.
Bye.